Yo, people, how is everyone going on this bloody beautiful Tuesday? I had to almost remember what day it was. It is because they all start to blend in after a while. So how is everyone going? It is a beautiful day here, and what's going on here is my speeding detector. Let me fix that up. This car's like a one of those pinball machines. So how are we all? I hope you are all great. I'm sure you are, because if you can get on a live stream, you know, if you've got access to technology, a phone, then something must be going right. So one of the biggest things that I've really been seeing with a lot of people that they're looking for, you know, the secret. They're looking for the motivation. They're looking for the next big thing. They're looking for, hey, Garima, how are you, my sister? How are you going? So proud of you and your beautiful man, Raul. Going to have to catch up with you guys. Obviously, being Melburnians, we're going to get all the Melburnians together and rock it out. And a lot of people are saying to me, Lee, look, I just don't know. I don't know this whole thing about achieving what I want. I don't know this whole thing about, you know, I keep starting and stopping, and it seems just to be getting hard, and so on and so forth. And I ask them a question, and I say this to them. I go, okay, so what drives you? And they said, well, I don't know. Well, where do you think you're going to be when you don't know? And I said, well, what do you feel about yourself? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, how do you represent yourself? How do you feel? Like, how do you, you know, what's everything and how you're moving forward? You know, and a lot of people go, well, I don't really know, Lee. I can't explain that. I can't, you know. I said, so if you don't understand yourself, if you don't know what drives yourself, then how are you going to drive? It's simple like a car. Like, if you don't know how to drive the car, how are you going to drive it? What fuels the car? It's petrol, yeah, and obviously fuel. So what about us humans? What do you think fuels us humans? What do you think makes us into the best version of ourselves? It's not just being motivated or you know, your motivators or your drivers. It's about what makes you into the best version of you, or what makes a human into the best version of a human. And through my own trial and error and my own discovery, and where, you know, obviously speaking to tens of thousands of people over the years, and working with tens and thousands of people, and obviously seeing that, it is the biggest driver and the most powerful energy that you can embrace is self-love, is self-worth, is self-appreciation. And if you don't really know what they mean, because they're just the words that people say, confidence, people say energy, people say motivation, that doesn't mean anything if you do not love yourself enough to say, you know what, I will stop at nothing but whatever it takes to get what I deserve because I deserve it, or, you know, or what I desire because I deserve it. And this it shifts you in a different paradigm. When you're coming from a place of self-love, when you're coming from a place of self-worth and self-respect, you don't need to force it. You don't need to push it. You don't need to, you know, come to that perspective of, okay, you know what, this is where I'm at in my life. This is how I'm going to move forward. Because that self-love, you will generate a want, you generate a why, you generate that laser beam focus of where you're going. And love is the most powerful and strongest energy that you can desire. So with all this stuff that you need to remember, people, because people get it all mixed up. They do, they get it all mixed up. And the reason why they get it all mixed up, because they come from a motivator which isn't from their core. And that's why you give up. You come from a motivator which is motivated by, you know, giving you an understanding of, okay, this is how I'm going to be motivated, because it's a want and a have. It's more of an ego. It's an idea. But once you can connect with your self-love, once you can connect with that self-appreciation, self-respect, things become extremely, extremely sexy, people. And why I say this, because when you have to look for that motivation in yourself to want to be better, or want to, it's a forced energy. It's a forced understanding of, okay, you know what, I want this life, I want to create this body, I want this wealth, I want to help people, so on and so forth. And all those motivators are basically created from wants and haves. They're not created from your pure being, and your pure being is love. And when you can come to love and you can stay in love, how that's going to work out for you It's absolutely amazing, yeah? And how it becomes so amazing is that you don't need to look for energy. You are the energy. You don't need to look for outside answers. You are the outside answers. Because once you can step into, just let me park here for a minute. Once you can step into that power, in the belief that you deserve it, it's organically, it flows. Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. And see, all these things that all you guys are saying are 100% right. But if you don't have the love, you aren't going to believe. If you don't have the love, you aren't going to look for the answer. If you don't have the love, you aren't going to want to grow. Because it gets to a point in life when you go, okay, well, this is my situation in life, yeah, with my partner, with my work, with my boss, with whoever it is, family. And if you don't have that self-love, you ain't going to want to shift into a understanding of bettering yourself. You're not going to want to grow. You're not going, want to expand. Someone that isn't connecting with their true being lets people walk all over them. You know, only goes for anything that is way below their potential. But when you're in that pure love, and you don't worry about the world confidence, it doesn't exist. Don't worry about inspire. Don't worry about all that rubbish. But when you are loving yourself and you connect with that, you do not need to look for a motivator. You don't need to look for inspiration. You don't need to look for some guru, because that self-love is going to propel you and push you towards your goal, and your goal will be magnetized because the energy that you're putting out, you're open to the abundance, you're accepting, and everything will be pulled to you, and you will be propelled towards your desired outcome, and that's when the magic happens. And that's a simple thing of, have you ever seen people that aren't sitting in their love or their self-appreciation? They attract what is broken inside. So, you see people that might have insecurities. You see people that don't have that self-respect. You see people that don't have that self-love. They will create that replica in another person, and you see them miles away. Like you can go to different relationships, and unfortunately, because you don't have that self-love, self-worth, self-respect, you keep attracting that broken image or that broken mirror, or I call it a dysfunctional energy, in other people, in other situations. And you'd be like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? It is because you're creating it. So people go, Lee, how do you get up in the morning and always, want to grow and want to move forward and keep going on? And I want to teach you something. The last week, there was a part of me that I disconnected with my self-love, my self-respect, and my self-worth. And I allowed certain circumstances or certain, individuals and that, and allowed it to affect me. And how I allowed it to affect me is because when you were understanding when you were talking about when you were growing and so on and so forth, I allowed that to affect me because I wasn't in my self-love. I wasn't in my self-worth. I wasn't in my self-respect. And I'm like sitting there and questioning and letting these things affect me. Now that I've had time to realign, reset, regroup, and refill, that connecting with that self-love, you do not accept nothing but the best. You do not accept nothing but exceptional. You do not accept nothing but the greatest version of you. And always remember that, because if anyone or any person or any vibration or anything around is in anything lower than exceptional and the rest of that, but you know this, yeah? If you're not loving yourself, you could be acting in a way that's going to attract that low vibration, yeah? It's a simple philosophy. But if you are loving yourself, you're acting in a way that you're on a frequency that deserves that respect, that deserves that, that love, that deserves that feeling, because you will feel it and you will make sure that no, hold on a minute. I'm going to, and you see your motivation, you see how you function throughout the day, you see how you talk to other people, you see how, you respond or not respond to other certain situations. You allow yourself to, you do not allow yourself to drop out of a feeling or a frequency or that deniable internal love, because you know that's who I am. I respect myself. I love myself. I deserve nothing but the best. Yeah, and that's the best is, that's obviously up to me. And another important thing is that you will know, you will feel when you're in that love. It's not ego. It's not It's not egotistic. It's not confidence. It's not arrogancy. It's that love to say, no, hold on a minute. I know what I deserve. I know what I love, and I know how I'm going to get it. And if someone doesn't want to meet me, or people don't want to meet me up where I'm going, then that's completely up to them. You will disqualify or you'll qualify people, and that's what it's about. Because guess what? Those other people that are around you, or those other, so on and so forth, they aren't loving themselves. So that's why you will have the friction. They aren't loving themselves, so they will react, or they will reflect in a way that you're going to have resistance. But if they see past that and they say, hold on a minute, this person's loving themselves, well, I should be loving myself, let's come up, let's grow together, then hey, what's that about? It's the ripple effect. You stand in your love. If people want to grow, they will grow into their love as well. If they don't want to come to your frequency, then that's up to them. But you do not drop down to their frequency. You do not lower your self-respect. You do not lower your self-worth. You do not lower your self-love. You keep that shining fucking high every day, walking with your chin up in the air and ready to rock and roll. Martina, how are you, my sister? My true authentic reality sister. Somebody that loves you should encourage you and bring your vibration up, not down. If they don't, they don't deserve to be in the presence at the time. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. And you'll know that. When you're not in self-love, you'll feel fragile. You'll feel broken. You'll feel needy. You'll feel just grasping onto anything, yeah. And it does get to that point. It's just like, am I ever going to be this? All these things will start to resonate. Will start to pop up. But once you're in self-love, you go, I'm not going to be dealing with that. I'm not going to be, I'm going to settle for nothing but exceptional. Because it comes down to, there's a difference between egotistic and arrogancy and self-love. Self-love is, you know what? I know what I'm worth. I love myself in deep in every cell, and that's the motivation of you to look after yourself in the health, in the health region, going to the gym, eating great food, appreciating your body, loving your body, doing it for the right reasons, not becoming artificial because you're broken inside. The same thing with your wealth. You know that you have a lot to give to the world, and you deserve to have it back, and it's that reaction, it's that reciprocity. So it's like a repercussion. So all of this in account, that all comes down to not greed and want and must and have. It all comes down to what I deserve. Yeah, it comes down to I love me. My name, I was going to say I love me. My name is Lee, and then you begin, because once you love me, you can love we. Yeah. So what that means is you can fill your own cup up, and once you fill your own cup up, let it spill over. Then once it spills over, then you can share it with others. But if your cup is not full, then how are you going to fill it up? You need to fill your cup up first, because this is a pure indication. Exactly what Martina said is that if you're in that self-love, self-appreciation, self-respect, and no one's going to respect you, then they do not belong to be in your environment. They do not belong to be in the area. And that is a pure indication. If you're having resistance with anyone, they aren't in love. So you're going to have that. You stay in your love, and the people that are meant to be in your vibration, meant to be in your life, meant to be in your world, they will either come up to your vibration, they will align with you, the pieces of the puzzles will click, and things will be fantastic. And that's what it is. You do not accept, and you don't sit there, and if someone reacts in a certain way and you go, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe I caused that. Maybe I caused the abuse. Maybe I caused that. Now, hold on a minute. Are you just asking if this person's okay? If you're just asking, is there anything that you can do? Are you just asking, and that person's seeing, that person's not seeing greatness in that? Hold on a minute. There could be in 10,000 more things that, you could find that could be a lot more, a lot darker, a lot more out of the love and the rest of it. And, these people they're looking at that, because you know what they will find? They will find a problem with every solution. They will find a problem with every gift. They will find darkness in every light. So you really need to be mindful about when, you stay in your power. Don't question yourself because, because someone else is acting a different way. That's up to them. But when you're in your self-love, you don't let that affect you. When you're in that self-appreciation, that self-worth, It's up to you. If you want to keep sitting there and keep getting, you know, punched in the face and keep being a boxing bag and allowing it, because guess what? It will. If you're putting all that energy out to love yourself, respect yourself, and the rest of it, and someone keeps like pushing you in the face with disrespect, with, you know, putting you down, that's up to you. You know, they should be blowing up your belief bubble. They should be blowing up your bubble of love. They should be blowing up your bubble of being. And you know, not Bean, not Jim Bean, Bean. You're in Bean, and you know, that's really important, because if people aren't allowing you to grow, if people aren't seeing that, you know, that you're coming from a place of, you know, coming from a place of love and just making sure that what's happening, then you really need to sit back and go, hold on a second, you know what? And you really need to sit there and go, do I appreciate, do I deserve this? Like, you're actually opening your mouth to speak to another to see if they're okay, or to speak to others to see if they're okay, or, you know, you're showing up on live streams, or you're doing whatever. And if people aren't appreciating that, it has nothing to do with you. It doesn't. You need to appreciate yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to stand on your own 2 feet and say, guess what, world? Sorry, just something came up. Guess what, world? I appreciate myself, I love myself, and it doesn't matter what any person says, close, you know, far, small, or, you know, whatever it needs to be, people that are far from me, people that are close to me, or whatever it might be, that, so I've got the parking, I'm parking at the car spot, they've got a parking inspector, I'll just tell him I'll be a minute. You need to be able to understand that you don't need to look without yourself to be filled up. You choose to be with others, or other, whatever it means, is in a group, in a team, or in an intimate relationship, just because it's a choice, not because you need that to fill you up. When you need to be, or when you choose to be with someone to fill yourself up, that's when you're not in self-love, my friends. That's when you're not in self-appreciation. That's when you're not in self-worth. You stay in that self-love, self-worth, self-appreciation, and you will be magnetized to what you desire and what you deserve, and that is 100% a fact. Hey, Pete Vella, how are you, bro? This one will be an absolute cracker for you. So, you don't need to look for inspiration. You don't need to look for motivation. You don't need to look for drivers. You don't need to look for the new thing about success and the magic pill and all this mindset and NLP and a guru, Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, fucking anybody. If you want to polish your trophy, then that's great. But you need to come from a place of love, most formally. Your place of love is like a concrete slab on a building. If you don't have that concrete slab strong, dense, you know, very solid, then when you start to build that house, the house will crumble, because there's no foundation, there's no love, there's nothing holding it up. And that's exactly how us humans function. Bella, not a problem at all. Thank you very much as well. Thank you. So that's what it's about, people. Stop creating without, go within, create that self-love, because when you have that self-love, everything becomes easy and effortless. You start to see the world with a different pair of eyes. You will have a tolerance just for greatness, but nothing else. Your vibration will be high and will keep it high. You won't let all these little minions and vampires and energy vampires and these negative people even get, not into your head, not even get close to your vibration, because that self-love, people either come up to your vibration and vibrate with you, or they would just be disqualified out of your life. So people, the number one most powerful energy, motivator, confidence, anything that you can embrace is self-love. So start practicing your self-love, and you don't think it, you will feel it. Yeah. And when you're in self-love, watch all the amazing people that you will attract in your life. Unfortunately, through this time, when we are, you know, through our journeys, we haven't been in our self-love, and we can see some of the people that we've attracted. Yes, okay, we've learned from that, we understand that, but we have attracted them. Now we dispel them, we get rid of them. Boom, see you later. Yeah, there's no place for anything but exceptional, anything but love, anything but appreciation, anything but understanding, anything but your self-worth and self-appreciation to the top level, people. So today, on this terrible, I was going to say terrible Tuesday, it's not a terrible Tuesday, it's a terrific Tuesday. The sun's out, get the guns out, stand in your self-love. Let me get that right. Stand in your self-love, and be in your power, because at the end of the day, all that matters is you being in love with yourself and you standing in yourself, because it doesn't matter what you have, what you don't have, how much money you have, how much money you don't have, where you're living, materialistic things. If you do not love yourself, you will not be able to love anything else. If you do not appreciate, you won't be able to appreciate anything else. If you don't respect or have that gratitude, you won't have respect or gratitude for anything else. And it all starts and ends with you, and that is you loving yourself fully, thoroughly, and more importantly, with every cell of your body, okay? Not because someone else says that. So people, start practicing how to have that self-love. If you want to know more about it, obviously, you know, all the stuff that we do, everything is about that self-love appreciation. I know that, you know, people that aren't on the same vibration, they can shift your focus, and before you know it, you're out of that self-love, and you're questioning yourself, and you're like, am I doing the right thing? Sorry, did I do something wrong? Well, before you know it, like, hey, your standards have dropped, that self-love is gone, and people are walking all over you. You're feeling like shit. You're going, what's going on in my life? Oh, this is not right. Oh, this dysfunctional. And you go, no, hold on a minute. Let's just back up a moment. I want to realign, reset, rethink, and refeel who I am. Yeah? And as you can see, the way I'm talking with this congruency, I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And more importantly, I know that I love myself, not in a big egotistic way, because I deserve it. Yeah, I've been put on this planet to empower you all, to empower myself, and that's how I'm going to do it. So have an amazing Tuesday, people, and go and stand, go and empower, go and be in that self-love, and watch the amazing things that will be magnetized to you. Have an amazing day. Take care.